street photography is one of those genres that many feel uncomfortable with. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer. Today I came out with my 50mm lens, and that puts me a little bit out of my comfort zone. Well, not really way out, but let's say on the edge of my street photography comfort zone, because I don't often use a 50mm for street photography. And that leads me to the topic of this video. You must have heard this advice before. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And of course that means you should try something new, or something you haven't tried before, or something that you don't feel very comfortable with. And in theory, at least, when you try new things, you should also learn new skills and become a better photographer. But in my opinion, that advice, get out of your comfort zone, is not a very good advice if you leave it at that. Just tell someone to get out of their comfort zone and try something new. I think it's, well, maybe it's not a bad advice, but at least it's incomplete advice. And here is why. Let's say that within the next 12 months you try 12 different new things, new photography things. Let's say you try landscape photography, street, architecture, portraiture, black and white, abstract, did I say architecture, and many other genres of photography, whatever there are, and then you try some new gear too, maybe new lenses and whatnot, and you spend 1 month with each new thing. You'll probably have a lot of fun, which is of course very important too, especially if you are a recreational photographer. And you'll probably have some pictures that you are very happy with because you tried something new, something that you've never tried before. However, I don't think you produced or you could produce any really excellent pictures, because 1 month simply is not enough time to spend with any new photography genre or even a new lens or something to be able to produce some cohesive new body of work. And maybe you don't even want to become a better photographer, but let's say you tried all those new things because you wanted to become a photographer, better photographer. Then you have to be in that out of comfort zone long enough so that it becomes your comfort zone. Only then can you start producing cohesive, good quality body of work. You have to know your subject, or you have to know the genre of photography that you're in. You have to know where to get the best pictures. You have to know the locations. You have to know the time of the day. Is it during the night, during the afternoon? Is it on a sunny day or cloudy day? Is it a rainy day? And there are so many things that you have to know and get familiar with before you start producing your best work in that particular genre. And it's the same thing with the gear. You should never, for example, take a new camera or a new lens on a vacation trip, for example, unless you intentionally are willing to take the risk. but it takes a lot of time to get to know a lens or a camera thoroughly, and to be able to fully concentrate on your photography and produce your best work, you have to know your lens and your camera so well that you never really actually have to think about the camera or the lens. And as soon as you have to start fumbling with your camera, the aperturing, or figuring out which button is where and whatnot, your concentration is away from your photography, and you are not producing your best work. In my opinion, it takes at least a year to get to know a camera or a lens properly, so that you know in every situation how the lens or the camera behaves and how to work with that particular combination. A zoom lens might even take longer than a prime lens, like this really nice Sony 50mm f2.5 that I have on my camera today, because a zoom lens has basically indefinite amount of focal lengths. Of course, in real life there are not that many, but there are so many focal lengths in any way in a zoom lens that it's so much more difficult to get to know a zoom lens properly. And the wider the range in your zoom lens, the more difficult it is to learn it thoroughly, so that you really know how to work with that lens in every possible situation. By the way, I really do like this Sony 50mm f2.5. It's super compact, super sharp, and I'd say this is probably the best travel nifty 50 that you can possibly have. It's not the cheapest possible lens, but I don't think it's overly expensive either for what you get. The autofocus is really excellent, and of course all the focusing modes work perfectly because it's a native Sony lens. And it's weather sealed and all metal built, and for whatever reason today I feel very much like black and white. Even though here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where I'm in right now, there's so much color everywhere, not like in my hometown Helsinki, Finland. Especially at this time of the year, everything is gray back there. But today I don't know, for some reason I just want to shoot black and white. And it seems that my photos are also not very much like traditional street photos. They are more like just casual snaps, but I don't care, I'm just having fun this morning. Black and white is sometimes so forgiving, even though I agree that the world around us is colorful, and color photos probably in most cases work better than black and white. But sometimes it's much more relaxing to shoot black and white because it is so forgiving. You can forget all the colors and just concentrate on shapes and light and shadow and all those other things except color. Based on the comments I get a lot down below, please also leave your comment if you have something to add to this topic. Anyway, based on those comments, street photography is one of those genres that a lot of people feel uncomfortable with. They don't feel comfortable with pointing a camera at people, strangers on the street. They feel uncomfortable even with pointing the camera at crowds in public. But there are many other genres of photography that are, for whatever reason, uncomfortable for many. Maybe it's the technique that is too challenging, or they feel it's too challenging, or some other reason. For many, it's the confrontation with people on the street. But of course, that is not the only reason to be uncomfortable with a certain genre of photography. photography is a long journey. There are no shortcuts, and you have to be willing to spend a lot of time with any given genre of photography or any given type or sector of photography to really get to know that. Today we all want to learn everything like right now, but especially with photography and with many other things too, it's simply not possible. So you might as well enjoy the journey and enjoy every moment and every time you learn something new. And why would you even want to hurry to the end so quickly? Then you'd miss all the fun of learning new things. And that's why, for example, I'm still interested in photography after 40 plus years, because every day I learn something new. This is all I have for you today. I hope this gave you some food for thought. And as always, please do leave your opinion on this matter down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. Thank you so much, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.